We give praise, esteem, and honor to the Most High Yah, name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Let's go to John 5:39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and there they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Alahym in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and seek not the honor that comes from Alahym only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There's one that accuse you, even Moses, in whom you trust. If I had you believe Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? Daniel 11:32. And if such as do wickedly against the covenant, he shall corrupt with flattery. But the people that do know their Alahym shall be strong and do exploits. Let's go to John chapter 14 and verse 8. Philip said unto him, Lord, show us Abba, and it suffices. Yahushua said unto him, I have been so long time with you, yet you have not known me. Philip, he said, have seen me, have seen Abba. How say you then, show us Abba? Believe you not that I am in Abba, and Abba in me? The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself, but Abba that dwell in me, he do the works. Believe me that I am in Abba, and Abba in me, or else believe me for the work's sake. Truly, truly, I say unto you, he that believe on me, the works that I do, he shall do also. Greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Abba. Let's take a trip to 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 45. And now we can get a little bit back online, just a tad. So that 1 Kings 8 and 45 says, hear you and Shamahim their prayer and their supplication, and maintain their cause. If they sin against you, for there is no man that sin not, and you be angry with them and deliver them to the enemy, so that they carry them away captives unto a land of the enemy, far or near. So now we're going to switch it up and not just be like to rehab what we already did. Who can tell me that how that verse relates to the Lord? Who want to take a trip at that? It's easy, and y'all been told it before. I can't remember how long ago it was, but it was a while ago. Who can tell me how? Can anybody tell me how?
1 Kings 8, 45.
What I just read in verse 46. How does that relate to the Lord? Who can answer that question? He said, if they sin against you, there's no man to sin not. And you be angry with them and deliver them to the enemy, that they carry them away captive unto the land, far or near. Can anybody answer that question? And I need you to be specific as possible. I need you to be able to explain this as if you was looking your son in the face and explaining it to him. Because remember that, and this is a true statement, anything that you know or that you say you proclaim to know, you should be able to explain it to where a 6-year-old child can understand it. And if you can't explain it to a point where a child can understand it, that means you don't have that strong a command of the subject matter. Because the word is simple. You know why? One of the reasons why the word is simple? So you can explain it to a child. It's not that complex. People try to make it complex because they want to be so extra deep and seem so extra wise, but in reality, you're just making a fool out of yourself.
The first part, I understand. For there is no man that sin not. I just take the word. And John, he said, he said he did the works, and they have no cloak for their sin.
He talking about the people. He said, if I wouldn't have came and did the work and no other man did, you would have not had sin. He said, but now that I came, you have no cover for your sin. So he was telling them the work that he was coming to do. Ain't nobody ever did that before.
For to deliver the enemy, so that they carry them away captive. I was just thinking like Romans 15, I don't know what this in Romans goes, but they said the reproaches of them came on me.
That's Psalm 69 he quote.
And the Hebrews 2, when he came as in the sea that he took on the nature of Abraham, so he could take back the devil who had power of death.
Does anybody else want to take a shot at it? What about you, Michael Glover? What? Water? You thirsty? I got a bottle of it. Verse 47, verse 46 here. Do you know how that relates to the Lord? Do you know it? Can you explain it? What about you, Johnny? Darius? Huh? Any of y'all want to take a shot? What about you, Kalisha? You ain't tired. You need to open your eyes. You want to answer the question, Pop? Well, let's look at the first part about it. The first thing he says is if they do what? What's the first thing he said? He said if they do what? So, well, let's look at that. See how that relates to them. Matter of fact, you didn't reference it. I'll just use what you just used. John chapter 15. I'll just use what you just used. I could use something else, but I'll just use what I just used. What you just said. John chapter 15. John chapter 15 and verse 22. We can make it 21. Make it 20. John 15 and 20. It says, remember the word that I speak, that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will persecute you also. They will also persecute you. If they've kept my saying, they will keep yours also. But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin, but now they have no cloak for their sin. He that hate me, hate my Abba also. Now let me ask you this. We read in Daniel chapter 11, he said, those that do wickedly against the covenant, he'll corrupt with flatteries. So this is an example of that, of what he's stating. Because see, if you hate Yah, then you're going to hate those that are a part of him. See, and again, I didn't read it in Daniel 11, but we're going to get to it in a minute. So we mentioned this other night. When John the Baptist seen Yahushua, what did he say? So you've established that this people have sinned against him. That's established, right? You done that. Now he said, if they sin against you, and he said, there's no man that sin not. Now, how can you take that part? And how does that relate to the Lord? But let's look and see. Because matter of fact, we just mentioned it. He said, this is the Lamb of Alahym that do what? Take away the sins of the world. What did Paul tell you this man became? He became sin because there was no man that sinned not. How do we know? Because in Adam, all died. That's how you know this. Then he said if they done that and they've been carried away what? Captive. So what happened to the Lord? Did he get carried away captive to a land far or near? Did he go far away or did he stay near? So they ain't carry him away captive? Who came and grabbed him? Chief priest them came and grabbed him. And where did they take him? Took him where? No, I'm saying exactly, specifically. Where did they take him? Book tell you where they took him. They took him to the high priest Caphir's house and locked him up there. So because they sinned against him, meaning you, they took him away captive. Now let's come back to 1 Kings chapter. I say y'all should remember. It's been a while. But look at verse 47. Yet if they shall bethink themselves in the land where they were carried away captives and repent and make supplication unto you to the land that carried them captives, saying, we have sinned and done perversely, we have committed wickedness, and so return unto you with all their heart and with all their soul in the land of their enemies, which led them away captive, and pray unto you with their land, which you gave unto their fathers, the city which you have chosen, the house which you built for your name. So let me ask you this here. How does verse 47 and 48 relate with the Lord? Who can answer that question? He said if they bethink themselves in the spot where they were carried away captive and repent and make supplication to him. Who can answer that question? It's a plain one too. It's real plain. But thinking means just a term. I done thought about it.
One more time.
I'll pull the word up for you.
I was thinking about
a little state, actual schism.
Shub just means, that's the word shub, you know, the word for convert, the return, to turn back. What was he turning back from on the stage? It said if they bethink themselves. No, yeah, they're talking about the people. Talking about him too. Who can tell me how they're talking about him? If they bethink themselves, where they've been carried away captive. Remember, captive means what? Captivity means what? No, not by definition. Not by Hebrew definition. At least not the word for captivity. Captivity means something else. It means to be exiled. So you can be, now captives here is to be taken captive. But see, you can be captive and still be in your own land and still be captive. You can go overseas and see that right now. There's some African people being captive. Yeah, but the word captivity though itself, it just means exile. Don't necessarily mean that you were a slave or you're in bondage. And in every situation. Some situations they can refer to that, some that don't. So if they bethink themselves in the land where they were captives and repent and pray, in the place where they had been carried away captive, saying we've sinned and done perversely and committed wickedness, and return with the whole heart and soul, how does that relate to him? Was he faced with such a situation? When was he faced with such a situation? Because he was faced with a situation such as this and did exactly what's contained here. And whether you know it or not, you've been commemorating it for the whole week. That's when he did it. Did he not get ready to say he was going to do something else? He said he was exceedingly sorrowful unto death, and he said, if it be possible, let this cup pass. And then what did he do? He turned and said, not my will be done, but your will be done. What was he taking the cup for? Was he not making supplication to his father in that particular situation? Did he not turn from what it was that he had in his mind to do and say, you know what? No, I'm going to come to you with my whole mind, heart, and soul and go ahead and offer myself as a living sacrifice for the redemption of his people. And I'm going to turn to you in the place, because remember, they were in the land, right? Were they captive or were they free? So they were captives in their own land. They were not free. They were under Roman occupation. Who prophesied that they would be captive in their own land? Ezekiel prophesied that they would be captive in their own land. And where was Ezekiel at, Glover, when he made that prophecy? Was he in the land or was he in exile? He was in exile. And he was already telling them how they would be removed and how some of them would be there and you would be occupied. He was in Babylon. Because remember, Daniel told you that these people had to do what? They had to come back for this man to be able to do what it was that he was ordained to do. So when you look at that, remember Shub is the Shan, the U, and the Bot. So when you hear that, what do you think about with those characters, what you would come up with? So you know if you got Bot in this situation, we probably say the son, and then you know that now the son is pairing you with his nail or with his sacrifice, because that's what's going to cause you to turn. So that's what caused him to turn and bethink himself and make supplication, because you read him making shalom, Brother Dennis. You see him making supplication twice. You see him doing it in Matthew 26, and then you see him doing it again in John 17. That's John 17. That's when he's literally praying for you to be paired to him, for you to be one with him and him to be one with you, so you could know that your Father in heaven could know you and that everybody would know that he loved us by what this man was doing. They fell asleep on him in Matthew 26. They certainly did. He said, go ahead and take your rest. Go ahead and take your rest. He said, but matter of fact, he asked him a question. This is another situation too, right? I think I mentioned this before, right? You know how serious it is for him? Like that man didn't have, in Ecclesiastes chapter 4, the book tell you that two is better than what? What happens if it's just you by yourself, according to Ecclesiastes? Say ain't gonna be nobody to pick you up. Say when you're cold, ain't nobody gonna be there to warm you. Now sit back and look at him. Who did he have? In the flesh? No one. You know what I'm saying? So did you see what he ended up having to do? He had to end up relying on his father. That's what he had to do. This is why those who know they Alahym are strong and do exploits or do work. Because remember, and I'm mentioning that from the John 15, he said, if I wouldn't have came and did the work that no other man did, they wouldn't have had no sin. The greatest work that he accomplished was the work of getting up there on that tree. But when you sit there and you consider that, who did he take up there with him when it was time for him to die? Who he took with him? He took 3 people with him. And John. Now, James got the pistol letters. John got the pistol letter. And you know who Peter is. And they all fell asleep on him and left him out there by himself. So who did y'all send to give him strength? Because he still showed you 2 better than 1. He's son of Malachim. But the point I'm looking at is that when he was looking around for fleshly assistance, they were gone. They couldn't even stay woke with him. He said, you couldn't even watch with me for an hour? See, most people couldn't even consider that manner of solitude in that type of situation. Most niggas are kicking, screaming, complain about niggas falling asleep. He would really get, matter of fact, after he said, go ahead and take your rest, because we got a long night anyway. But it shows you the example how you rely on your Alahym and that you would never be alone. He said he'll never leave you or forsake you, so you would never be alone. But some people have never had that experience of it's just you. Because what did his apostles do when it went down? They hid it.
You gotta get it a little bit. He did swipe the ear.
He still hit it. And guess what? He swiped the ear and he was talking real brazen. And what did the Lord tell him?
He told him to pipe down.
No, he ain't telling him to pipe down. He said, you're going to deny me 3 times for it. He said, you're going to deny me 3 times. And the one in Mark, you remember what Mark said when he did it? What it said the Lord did the 3rd time Peter did it? He turned around and looked at him. Nigga, I told you. Well, you know how hard that is when he done told you that and you done did it and all he do is just turn his head and just look at you. Some of y'all done looked at your children like that. When you done told them, keep on now, you're going to fall off that dresser. Then when they fall, you just look at them. They ain't got nothing but shame on their face because you had already told them what they were going to do before they did it. But now let's take this point here even further. Was Yahushua by himself even after they fled him? Who was with him then? It was one person in the flesh with him, came to help. He still showed you 2 were better than 1. This is why, and it goes back to when he tell you that it's not good for man to be alone.
You're talking about when they got here to carry the state.
Carry the state for him. Simon Cyrene still came through, didn't leave him alone. And that's another example of how Yah will not leave you alone. But it also showing you what, like you said, like it ain't good for man to be alone because it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's not good for in no shape, form, or fashion. And it also shows you what it means because you got to realize the body was created in Pentecost, but the foundation was laid during unleavened bread. You know what I'm saying? And I just was talking with a brother about this here earlier today. See, you know, the problem come in that when people talk about some congregations across the world is because individuals are moving as individuals and everybody hasn't bought into the fact that there's no individuality in the body of Mashiach. It's interconnected parts. And when you begin to see the other person as a part of you and you a part of them and that you one as a whole and not individuals, then the kingdom of Alahym can be manifested on earth. But if you have a group of people who see themselves as individuals, then that can never be accomplished. See, before he died, you was individuals, but he had already prophesied through the mouth of Jeremiah that he would give you one heart and one mind. That's why the book tell you it's one body, one ruach, one faith. That's why you see them during Pentecost not considering anything to be their own, but eating and drinking with joy from one another's house. And they had ate with singleness of mind and heart because they saw themselves one of another. They didn't see them as this is me and my family over here. This is me over here. That's their family over there. They didn't have that thought process. That's not the process of Alahym. He don't operate like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't operate like that. And what I come in at is you have to buy into what he's talking about. If you don't buy into that, it's no different than on a sports team. Some teams have success because everybody is bought into the vision of the coach. So everybody's willing to work and sacrifice for the team because it's about the team and not the individual. When you see some certain teams and they have a lot of talent and you wonder why they don't win, it's because you had a bunch of individuals and they weren't moving as a team. Because this nigga was worried about his stats. And this nigga was worried about his endorsements and his playing time. He wasn't going to be willing to sacrifice for the man next to him. You know, I asked you that before. You got to be able to trust and know that the man next to you will sacrifice for you. Because if you don't have that level of trust with him, you're not going to be able to operate as a unit. And that's what Alahym wants. He wants you to know that you can be able to trust the individual next to you because you have the same heart. That's why he say, if he done laid down his life for us, we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren. Should it be no issue. Because you know y'all one of another. Oh, that's unfortunate. Nigga ran slap dab into Metro Donna. They won't be open tomorrow. Nevertheless, come on to Colossians chapter 2. That's what New for Jackson told. Colossians chapter 2. So we see how, let me read verse 49 so y'all see how that happened. He said, then hear their prayer and supplication in heaven, their dwelling place, and maintain their cause. And what was to maintain their cause? That maintain their cause was to do what? The work judgment. So how did he do that for the Lord then? He said, if they do this and they pray unto you, work judgment. That's what it says. Hey, little buddy. How did he maintain their cause? How did he work judgment on Yahushua's behalf? How did he do it? When it says maintain their cause, the word there is asab mishpat. So it's work judgment. That's what it says. He said, hear their prayer and work judgment. No, he gave you authority to judge other individuals. But remember now, you got to keep in context what we're looking at. You seen in verse 46 that the people sinned against him. There wasn't nobody who sinned. He got angry with them. No, you got to follow me because John 5 is talking about him executing judgment on you. He said, when you hear that prayer, work judgment. So he's asking for judgment to be worked on behalf of the person or people making supplication. So if you've established in verse 46 that this is Yahushua being taken captive, if you've established in verse 47 that this is him making supplication before he's about to be crucified, and if you've established that and you know that he was praying to his Abba, and what did he pray to his Abba for? That's why I mentioned John 17. He prayed that you might be what? One with him. What allowed you to become one with him? He maintained or he worked judgment on his behalf because what is judgment, right? The determinant of what's right and what's wrong, correct? Now, in the law, it says that he will not condemn the righteous over the wicked. Is that not what he said? Because he said when that, and then in the book of Habakkuk, he said the wicked compass the righteous and wrong judgment proceeds. Now, Yahushua was crucified. Was that the right judgment? So Yahushua made supplication, make us perfect in one, did he not? What he had already told his apostles that we just talked about recently. Did he confess he was a stranger and pilgrim on the earth? What promises did he embrace and were persuaded by? That his father would resurrect him from the dead. So you have been killed unjustly. Now I've made supplication to make us perfect in one. He said, I don't pray for the world. I pray for them and those that should believe on me through them, and to make them perfect in one, Abba, as we are. So the maintaining of the cause or the working of judgment was resurrecting this man from the dead, which take us back to what we started at in Deuteronomy 30 before things went to going crazy. He said to circumcise their heart. Is that not what he said, that he would cause you to leaven, right? Now let's come back to Colossians chapter 2 and we'll knock that on out. Because that 1 Kings 8 is Solomon's prayer when the what you call it? When the temple was erected. And notice that he put in there, if they sin, to hear them. And though Yahushua didn't sin, the people had sinned because he's the Passover lamb to take away the sins of the world, and he's making a supplication on our behalf, and Yah heard it and maintain his cause or work judgment on his behalf. Because he judged them to be what? Clean. And if he was clean, I ain't got no choice but to resurrect him and keep my promise that I made to him. Remember, the beast is going to corrupt people by flatteries and corrupt them with promises. What was the promise that we talked about the other day that Satan made to Eve? You not gonna die. What is the promise that Yah made to you? That if you believe on the one whom I sent, you will not die. And what is the beast gonna come up and do? Try to make you that same promise. Oh, you're not gonna die if you worship this idol, other than me killing you. And that's gonna put fear in people's heart. I'm trying to tell you, niggas gonna be bugged out when they see a lifeless statue, wood and stone, whatever they choose to make it out of, talking and breathing. You're gonna be thrown. And if you don't know your Alahym, you're gonna go right for it. You're gonna be thrown. What I said in Colossians chapter 2. That makes your soul happy. Leah, Abigail, and Mari. No time for conversation. Yeah, I seen you. And I heard you. Colossians 2 and 8, if I can get them. He said, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Mashiach. And you got to be careful with that. Can any of y'all think how any of the nations through the rudiments of the world came through trying to spoil the house of Yasharal or the house of Yehuda? Can y'all think any of them coming through with the nonsense that they came through with? You know what? He says vain philosophy or deceit or tradition of men. Or the rudiments of the world. Rudiments just mean the things of the world.
I think like that. I don't think about it.
Now, see, that's what I'm talking about before them. In the scriptures. A lot of times we went after that stuff. Ain't nobody even have to present it.
I don't remember that.
A lot of times, you know how they came with us with that? Just being there. Who can think of a God that one of our people went after? Tammuz was one. I got one in my head specifically. That's why I mentioned. I got one in my head specifically. Beelzebub was their personal faith. But the one that I got in my head, who came through with the rudiments of the world, deceiving them people that made Phineas jump up with that doggone spit. Ball pit. And wasn't that them? Now see, they brought that to them. And they went after it.
No, they went after them women.
But the women brought that to them and stayed there and they chased after it.
They went after.
Yeah, but
they went after the women.
Hold on, let me show you. What it is. Number 25.
They went after the women, and the women brought their women.
Shoot. They sat down and kicked it with them. They seen them women, they entertained them. Right here, right? I'm finished with it. They called it number 25 and 1. Number 25 and 1. It says, Yasharal abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. And they called the people unto the sacrifice of their gods, and the people did eat and bowed down to their gods. And Yasharal joined himself under Baal Peor, and the anger of Yahuwah was kindled against Yasharal. So they called them over there, and they went. Because they could have easily said, no, we don't mess with no Baal Peor. You know what I'm talking about? And they got corrupted by it. He said, beware lest any man spoil you. What ended up happening to the people? They perished. You know what I'm saying? The other individual I had in my head, even though he didn't have to go looking for him, they got with Dagon too. You know who Dagon is? God of the Philistines. And you know who Dagon you know who them white folks probably worshiping now, worshiping Dagon by now? I'm just thinking about that because eventually the God that he represents probably go back to Dagon. You know what type of God Dagon is? He was the fish god. Probably with Aquaman. You know what I'm saying? Because Aquaman, I'm talking about in this new incarnation, because the old Aquaman didn't have that pitchfork. You know what I'm saying? The minute you seen that pitchfork that nigga was holding, that was Neptune. Y'all familiar with Neptune? Praise the Lord if you're not.
I was thinking.
Yeah, Poseidon. He got many different names. Neptune, Poseidon. All of them is an idolatry, and I wouldn't be shocked if it was daggone the fish god the whole time, because that's what Aquaman looked like, a fish. I wouldn't be shocked.
They seen Little Mermaid. That's them too.
Oh yeah. Anytime you see anybody holding that pitchfork, that's an idol god.
That's Little Mermaid.
Mm-hmm. Y'all already know a Little Mermaid side in and of itself. How many of y'all girls here grew up wanting to be a mermaid? Mess around, let's singing Under the Sea. You know he was around here singing Under the Sea. Whoa! You're definitely right about that, man. Definitely a mess. Under the Sea. That means that messing with Disney probably is.
Under the Sea. It is smell. Look what it is. We're talking crab.
Talking crab.
Under the Sea.
That's why I be telling you, around here be playing, them people be throwing sin at your children. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it is. But we supposed to be, why ain't no different than that joint they had in the land singing on? That woman was a whore. That woman was half naked the whole cartoon. Being so, indeed it was. I mean, Arab's freaky now. Super freaky. But see, it's this subliminal stuff. It's stuff that, like we were talking about, that it's not passive aggressive, but it's passive wickedness. You know what I'm saying? The way you pick it up and you don't realize that you're picking it up.
I watched all that stuff. I didn't see it.
I know you didn't see it. You saw it.
Yeah, you was watching.
It was in your subconscious. Now whether it was activated or not, I can't answer that. Straight up. I'm telling you now, if you were young and you found yourself just a tad bit frisky, wanting to touch somebody or touch yourself, you don't know where that come from.
I ain't gonna say all that. That's natural,
Because I just said Lion King. I didn't even know that thing really did say sex up there. I didn't know that was doing all that shit. Like, I really saw like, oh, this nigga really is gay. You know, I'm like, dang.
And we done talked about that before. You know that movie teaching you about murder. Jealousy, envy. You know what I'm saying? It's planting seeds of behavior that a small child wouldn't know how to be able to process that in their subconscious. But I mean, how could a 6-year-old child even know what game is?
No, it just sensitized.
That's what the main thing is.
See it, it's not a big deal. Because they've already seen him somewhere that watch out. Huh?
I learned to keep a watch eye for that.
It's like when Prison Vita came out. I didn't know that was us.
Huh?
When Prison Vita came out. I was in elementary school when it came out. I know that.
Oh, I never
I saw it. Yeah, they had the we was black and everything.
Oh, they'll throw that in your face now, real quick, like slide it on you. Except when it's Charlton Heston. Hey, stop playing over there. Don't put your hands on your face and you wrong. Think somebody's supposed to feel sorry for you. We feel nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, no.
But it's a lot of stuff, man. You know what I mean? Like I Ben told you, that's a lot of stuff you consume. They putting this stuff in your heart for a reason. Like I said, right, I would throw just to see, like, how can an 11-year-old boy know he a punk? I'm talking about it's irregardless of that. Like, how can an 11-year-old boy know that he wants the pleasure of a man? So then it makes me look at what type of environment are you fostering where an 11-year-old boy thinks he desires the pleasure of a man? You're a little boy. You don't even know what to do with your penis yet, and you say you want to use it on a man? And guess what your big grown rusty behind out here doing? Out here with him. So you's a stinking hoe yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part where you come at it. If you are not of the world, these people offend you. Then it get to the point of, do I even want to be fooled up with and even put money in your pocket? being fooled because you can't get out of past because I think they're a good actor or they're good music. That woman just told your God straight to his face, F you, nigga. So if she feel that about your God, how you think she feel about you? Like you have to really look at it. If they hate your God and you in him and he's in you, guess what that mean they do, how they feel about you? Because what did he say? The servant's not above his master. So if they hate me, they gonna hate you too. See, it can't go both ways. That woman was out there with an 11-year-old boy to my go ahead, son, to be a Peter puppet. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, clearly he bisexually, son, but that's neither here nor there. I know I wouldn't wear that nigga to walk around with a known punk. This nigga's a known punk. You know how we know you're a known punk? Because somebody did something to your son. I don't know who it was. I'm not blaming nobody. Somebody did something. 11-year-old boy doesn't wake up and say, I want a man. You know what I'm saying? He's only 11. That nigga ain't even got no pubic hair. He ain't even hit puberty yet. Yeah, they do, but we just gonna give him the benefit of the doubt that he ain't touched that yet. And you right here looking like you want a man? How you know he want a man? Somebody done broke that boy freshman seat. It ain't right. Who? Boy, I could be that nigga uncle. D Wade got to see me and putting hands on. What you doing to my nephew? Shoot a big brother out there with him. I support him. I don't support this faggot nigga. You know what I'm talking about? I don't care how nobody in the world feels. If my son gay, I ain't got no son. Straight up now, I get on this. Your son gay. I have no son. You can't do your son like that. Watch me, nigga. Watch me. My daughter come home talking about she a lesbian. I have no daughter. Shoot, my son and daughter come home talking about they whoring. I have no daughter. Because guess what who are going to do? You look at him talking about you's a punk. I have no son. You know why? Because he say ain't no sodomites amongst his sons and ain't no whores amongst his daughters. You none of my child. My children don't act like that. I don't know where you come from. You need to go back to your daddy's house. Your daddy the devil. Go live with him. You're not coming in my house with that crap. And that's how you need to do all your children. You can't stay around here with that. You know what I'm saying? You want around here, want to run Puff Peters? Puff them at your grandma's house. But you can't puff them here. You know what I'm saying? You want to jump up out of our windows and toot your booty in the air and sip your little Bud Lights and margaritas? Do it at your grandma's house. Because you can't do it here. Who? You got to say what you mean, man. Well, I'm not with it. You want to be disrespectful? You already know what our law said. Nigga don't want to listen. What the law put a rock upside his head. So my rock upside your head is, so unpack your bags. Where we going? To the Salzbacher, because that's where you staying. You can't stay here. You know what I'm saying? Not live here. I pay all the bills and you act like this. No, sir. I'm not condoning that. But you know what the world done told you? These people sit back and say a child can't choose his gender. What you mean? The boy got a penis. That's not a girl. And guess what? People turn their head to it, and what he said is they're doing, they desensitize it. So guess what happens when the world gets wickeder and more wicked and more wicked? Then they're going to have a problem with you when you say, I don't rock with that. I ain't saying I'm finna stone this nigga, but I don't rock with that. My God don't agree with that. See, you're intolerant. See, God is love. I know, and we love to tell you we ain't with that. Tell that faggot nigga get his mind right. Stand up straight, nigga. Get that limp out your wrist. Don't play them type of game. Girl, put a dress on and take them pain. You're not a man. See, they have a problem with this. See, that's hate speech. Yeah, I hate seeing, nigga. I care less about this nigga. I don't know you to hate you. You know what I'm talking about? That's the difference. I don't know you to hate you. And even if I did, I just have a strong disdain for you. But you don't get your faggot butt from around me. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm not on that. Shoot, I don't need too much want to be around no effeminate man. You ain't even got to be gay for that. Just go on over there with that, man. That junk like to play it. You might catch it. I don't want to catch what you got. Not even gay. Cat. I don't want to catch no. I don't catch none of that. That nigga got cooties. Something wrong with that nigga, man. Verse 11. Colossians 2. That junk ain't cool. And you shouldn't stand for it. And you shouldn't conform to it. That's why he say don't conform to the ways of the world. You should conform to it because the world is unrighteous. And then you have to sit back and look at that, man. Like that's what he said, right? You can look at any manner of entertainment and this, that, there you want. But then you also sometimes you're gonna have to make a decision on is what you stand for more important than these people's quote unquote artistry for the things that they promote. Because we always got to have in the front of our mind, not the back. Because if these people hate our God, they hate us too. And you can't never forget that. And I'm saying it because if we was to have a conversation with Gabrielle Union right now about why you had that boy out there talking about he was a punk, I'm just saying, it doesn't matter that she famous, irregardless that she famous. If you was to run across her and say, I don't agree with that, that woman gonna cuss you out and cuss you out about your God right to your face. Her being famous is irrelevant. It's the fact that there was a grown woman out there with an 11-year-old boy talking about he was a homosexual and you condoned it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that if you had a conversation and say, yeah, you know, we're out here gay pride, I don't agree with that. Why you don't agree with that? Because my Alahym say that's an abomination. She gonna disrespect your God in your face. She gonna tell you how she feel about your God in your face. Would that make you want to see a movie she in? Would that make you want to watch a television show when you know in her heart she despises everything that you stand for? Do you know what I'm saying? They put it this way, right? How would some of y'all feel if somebody went and cussed your daddy out? Like your actual father, if you got a good relationship with him. Mine in the grave, so you cuss him out, I don't know what you got going on with that. Because he can't hear you. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what I can say. Well, who in here got a good relationship with their father? So how would you feel if somebody cussed your dad out? A little upset? You lying, you gonna want to slap somebody. How would you feel if somebody cussed your dad out? You don't want, what about you, little Stan? You know what I'm saying? He gonna stand up top of his shoulders. They gonna be like Voltron. Well, I had to throw that in there. You open the door. I just walked in. I apologize. Come on, Casper. I couldn't help it. It was there. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry, man. It wasn't cool. It wasn't right, but I couldn't help it. Yeah, you know they formed together. For your time. For your time. Voltron was like Power Rangers for you, man.
Hey, get on to the show?
Transforming to kind of like I said, it would be different parts come together, form a body. You don't know about Voltron? That was my thing, Voltron, man. I had them toys, you know. I'm old. It's cool. Go ahead, Ken. Sure. Well, how you feel, Kat, if somebody cuss your dad out? Oh, what about you, D? Because I know you and your daddy cool. Well, I put it this way. I'm talking about cussing him out because of the character that he possesses and what he stands for. Because he manifested what he's about. And they had a problem when he spoke on what he was about. So they felt the need to say, F you and everything you stand for, and I hate you. And if I had the opportunity, I would cut your throat.
You know what? I would be mad. Because I actually faced that recently. I ain't mad.
And that's how you should feel about when people disrespect your father in heaven. You should feel the same way. You feel the same. Ain't no different. Guess what? I done told you this before. If somebody disrespect you, what he say he gonna do? He say he gonna ride. You know what I'm talking about? Has he not shown you that all throughout the word that he gonna ride? Now, what did he told you that in Chronicles. He said, you know what? Touch not my anointed, do my prophets no harm. He just wasn't talking about individuals. When that statement is made in Chronicles, he was talking about the whole nation of Yasharal. He said, don't touch the people I done chosen. Keep your hands up off of them, because I'm going to come see you. You know what I'm saying? Now, you ain't got to put your hands on nobody, but you should have the same feeling for him that he got for you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how he feel. You're not going to disrespect my father. And since that's how you feel, I'm not fooling with you and anything you connected with. You know what I'm saying? Now, truth be told, that's the whole world. But nevertheless, do you know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? It's some don't open their mouth. I'm really more referring to this instance of those that are more brazen to openly state that I hate him. You know what I'm saying? Because we know anybody who don't walk in the way of Yahuwah hate him. We already know that. That's a gift. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, nigga be like, I don't want to talk to my mama then, or talk to my cousin, and this, that, then the third. So, you know what I'm saying? We know that, but I'm talking about use a little wisdom and moving like this here. Like some people, you know what? I can't really fool with you like that. Or I'm not going to support your disrespect of my father by financially supporting what you got going on. Because, you know, like I said, man, with Nipsey passing, that's the biggest thing that niggas screaming that all black people need to come together. Come together for what? Why would I, if I'm sanctified, why would I come together with a bunch of sinners to do what? More sinner work? Let me tell you, man, I'm finna be 39. I done seen the LA gangs come together and call the truce at least 6-7 times in my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? And guess what they gonna keep on doing? They ain't killing each other, but they still lying. They still committing adultery. They still committing idolatry. They still selling dope. But you cool long as they ain't killing each other. They killing themselves every day. They walking in sin. But you cool with that because it ain't no murders though.
Stop, boy.
But that's the truth though. They done came together. They didn't have about 6-7 churches. Certainly. They don't even take nobody getting killed. And look how niggas was happy. Look at all these black people walking together. And you still in the destroyed state. So what did that really do? But that shows you how low and bad we are as a people that we'll take that. You know what I'm saying? We'll take whatever we can get. Nigga going crazy. We shouldn't be checking people on the internet. Man, bump that nigga. Telling me a wicked bastard y'all to go to hell. That's what y'all to tell him. You know what I'm saying? I care less about that nigga. Nigga worry about this. This nigga got a rape charge of a teenager. Ain't a nigga said damn word about that. And the one nigga who did say something, they was like, why he did him like that on the radio show and he walked off. Now, I will say I wouldn't, if I was in the world, I wouldn't ask a nigga about a criminal case. Matter of fact, if I was in the world, I wouldn't have a nigga accused of rape on my show. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I wouldn't even, I watched him when the nigga did it. He was slick with, but at the same time, he was like, bro, what's up with that? I wouldn't even have a nigga on my show. You know what I'm saying? And then a rape and you accuse of, because like I said, I believe in that there, because I don't know, I wasn't there. You might have not did it. I don't know. But I know I wouldn't have your nasty behind on my show though. You know what I'm saying? So if a nigga who will put himself in a position to get accused of rape, are you shocked that he would say something disrespectful about a woman? Would you be shocked by that? Matter of fact, have you heard this nigga talk, bump his music? Have you heard this nigga conversation? And you shocked that this nigga say something disrespectful? So what you think here? But this is a nigga who Hebrews just about 8-9 months ago was jumping up and down because he had some fringes on. Come on, man. No, bro, because them niggas were going hard. He was down there to that congregation of the dude that will know down there in Lauderdale. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, he in the truth. He in the truth.
All that what?
Yeah, that nigga was down there in the Hebrew congregation.
You were saying Yahweh and all that.
He was on all that, taking pictures. I'm a Levite.
I was over there.
And niggas went for it. Every Hebrew on boy, he got that truth. Yeah, that nigga was claiming he was in the word because he met a nigga in Lauderdale who got a Hebrew congregation. Nigga told him about Yahweh Shai. That nigga put some fringes on and took a picture at their congregation and say, I'm a Levite. We the people of the book. Get your stupid butt out of here. And you niggas gonna sit here and stab this hypocrite nigga. Come on, man. If he was in the word, he wouldn't even be talking like that. Now this is a nigga who, quote unquote, supposed to heard the truth. I don't respect that junk, man. You should even, y'all niggas forgot that nigga did that. You see how short our attention span and memory is that you even forgot that nigga did that. You know them nigga boys, the men, Israelites, man. You know them niggas in the ISUPK. And been in ISUPK for at least 25 years. You know what I'm saying? These niggas know them niggas don't kill these niggas hypocrites. You know what I'm saying? Ain't now one of these niggas ever, because if you gon' serve Yah, you got to walk away. And it's not just because I want to walk away. It's going to make you want to walk away because you're going to be more concerned about doing his will. And his will is going to conflict with what that particular industry got going on. Do you know what I'm saying?
So you said boys and men.
Oh, yeah, they've been in ISUPK for 25 years, probably longer than that. They've been a member of ISUPK since the early 90s. They still turn. Matter of fact, the skinny nigga, Sean, that nigga got like 5 wives. They'll post up. You'll see them niggas every once in a while. They'll put their garments on, and you'll see them.
Honestly, he's on one of them about this. They might have to check out or something like that.
Yeah, they do. ISUPK everywhere. Yeah, I say, and when they in Philly and they're in LA, they'll pop up and they'll show up. Amari Stoudemire, part of Israel of God. That nigga was breaking the Sabbath the whole time playing basketball. Kabui baptized him. And every Israelite went crazy. He in the truth. Because they thinking this celebrity going to push the word. You'll never hear them. Amari Stoudemire ain't get on ESPN their time and say black people are Israelites. And if he did, what did it matter? What would it matter if he did? But he ain't manifesting that light and that gospel, because guess what that's going to do? Mess up his money. And he don't want his money messed up. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to see, because you know with the internet, you got all type of divergent stuff. You got people that believe Nipsey would kill. You got people who believe it was a hoax. You know what I'm saying? I ain't always big on the hoax stuff because you got too many moving parts or too many people who would be participating in this stuff if they were hoaxing. You know what I'm saying? It's just too many people. And I know when you're doing something like that, you don't want no loose ends. You know what I'm talking about? Because somebody going to run their mouth. I know you ain't compensating no quote-unquote crisis actor enough to keep this nigga from running their mouth. Somebody been untold it after a while. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I feel like a nigga on top. You know what I'm saying? But I can sit back and see why they were saying it like a psych op. Niggas talking about this nigga God. Niggas making paintings with this nigga with thorns on his head like he the Lord. And that stuff is ridiculous. And basically what he talking about is creating a martyr. Because when you create a martyr, you give the people something to invest their energy in. And it ends up, what we've been talking about, it ends up creating idolatry. This is the main reason, and the only reason why I could see that if it was a hoax, if these things would be hoaxes, because we know what the beast coming to do. He gonna make himself a martyr. He gonna be killed. He gonna resurrect from the dead, and this is gonna cause people to go after him only because they planted that seed of psychological warfare in your head periodically. You know what I'm saying? Because when he got killed, what's the first thing niggas screamed? He was all pop. So they were bringing back up those emotions from 1996. You know what I'm saying? And what was Pac's last album cover? Machiavelli, crucified like the Lord. You know what I'm saying? That's the only reason why I can give it credence that Pac might have been a hoax. Nipsey might be a hoax. That these niggas ain't dead. That these niggas done played their role. Their role is complete. Slide on out the way. Get all the emotions stirred up in the people because it's not hard to control carnal-minded people. You know what I'm saying? Because carnal-minded people are moved by their emotions. You have to think past. I would tell him Will this today. If TMZ get the info, footage, photos first, be skeptical. If they get it first, be skeptical. You know why? You know that y'all know the dude who owns TMZ? You see him on the show every time if you ever watch it. The little white man. Do you know what show he was on before he started TMZ? He was on People's Court. The nigga who was interviewing the niggas coming out the courtroom. And he was caked up then because he's Jewish. His name is Barry Levinson. He's Jewish. Now, how you go from being the court reporter, nigga, to owning TMZ, the largest celebrity gossip website in the world? But no, I did. I mean, no, but I'm saying my point is you wouldn't expect the interview dude who you would consider to be a big player to have that much influence. Oh yeah.
So the thing with the whole, so the thing with the whole, they'll pay him and then go to another country or something.
Yeah, they hide the niggas. Now I'm not saying that it is a hoax. I'm telling you, use your brain. Just because something come through the TV don't mean it's real. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good game plan on their part, though.
Yeah, and I'm only using that from the aspect of I know how it's going to play out in the end. A man is going to die and be resurrected from the dead. We already talked about how he coming with lambs like a horn, but talking like a serpent. So we talked about this last night, right? He coming talking about peace, if he got horns like a lamb and Yahusha, and it said that we are all led as sheep to the slaughter, and he the Passover lamb to be sacrificed, then he gonna mimic that. And if I've already taken black men who you consider to be for the people and other community and sacrificed them, might be inclined to do that because I've psychologically prepared you for said event. You know what I'm saying? And you have to keep up. It could. Absolutely, because the man George Soros controls it. It's a white man that created that and controls it.
Yeah, I know it's created. That's the same from the people that I just named. Girl, no wow. They all part of the same.
Absolutely. Just like HBCUs, white folks started all of them. Every last one of them. You know what I'm saying? There is not a single solitary movement that was for black people in modern times that them folks didn't even have a hand in. Like, it's known that Rosa Parks was an Eastern Star, so she could have been planted there to do what she would do. You know what I'm saying? This is known. Female version of Mason. You ever seen a whole bunch of black women together walk around with them white dresses on, them white gloves on?
Yeah, things on. Something weird on here.
Yeah, it's a Baphomet. The Eastern Star logo is a Baphomet. But that's neither here nor there. I'm talking about the point of doing things to elicit emotion. And remember, your Alahym is an Alahym who is of the Ruach. He's a Ruach. He does not deal. You never see one time Yah do anything to stir and move human emotion. He did things to stir your spirit. You know what I'm saying? So you have to pay attention to that. Bruh, they put a nigga on the news when Nipsey died and say he's a god. Because they believe, some people believe that these are crisis actors. I don't know. I can't state that, and I'm not gonna say that because I don't know.
Yeah, I know they took it one put on the news per se, because nobody from his immediate family to the news per se, that is like told the hot
Well, that's just thing. That nigga is from over there in Africa. He could have did what that
It's possible.
that's what it was.
But it ain't even just that there. It's just like, bruh, if the government, come on, man, everybody seen that last Batman, how that nigga faked his death. And they do this stuff all the time. In that last Batman movie.
Oh yeah, the movie itself.
The movie itself. They do this stuff all the time.
Yeah, that's one of the games.
And you disappear and you go to a remote location where 9 times out, because you got to realize something. Pac was real famous, but I can send you somewhere where somebody don't know who you are. You know what I'm saying? And you'll be sitting over there chilling. You know what I'm saying? But my point is that if you know your Alahym, you got to know how he operates. And if you know these people are sinners and they work for the adversary, whether directly or indirectly, you can't put that past them. That's not to say this man ain't get killed, because I don't know. I wasn't there. But I know these people are capable of this. I know that they're capable of this. And that's the only thing I can look at. I know the CIA has psych ops operations that they do on the public. This is known. This is government records. You can write to the U.S. Library of Congress and get this information. But I'm knowing because I know the end game that a man is going to be killed and resurrected from the dead. And I know he's going to be one of our own kind. I can see you, though we know they killed them niggas, though. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and all, because they were controlling them niggas too. If you think they wasn't, you're lying to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. You can't get that type of TV coverage and exposure without them letting you. I've been told you that. You think they're going to let somebody get on TV and really be going hard? But they done put Farrakhan been alive for years. I didn't kill that nigga again. Come on, bro. You think they going to let you live? Well, Fred Hampton was spitting the real. You see how long he lasted. Oh, yeah, he really got caught selling dope and he was working for the Fed. That's true story. That's true story. That's true story.
But the niggas be going, Farrakhan be going hard on the Jewish people.
They don't care nothing about that. You ain't exposing nothing. All he is an oppo saying. I need somebody to be in opposition of the narrative. That's all a Democrat and a Republican is. They own the same squad, but you have to have an adversarial situation. Because what that does is it keeps people divided, it keeps you distracted, and it keeps you arguing about things of no consequence.
Right. So if you go against that shit, they'll kill their own like John F. Kennedy.
They definitely will. They could care less. They could care less. They could care less. It ain't got nothing to do with none of that. It's about the agenda. And the agenda is to set the state, and at the same token, it's Yah's will all the way around the board. You know what I'm saying? Because he's going to have that day of temptation. And those that know their Alahym will be strong in those days and do work. And those who are not are going to go after the beast. And I just want you, by the grace of Yahuwah, to be prepared. All I can do is show you the information of your God so you can know him. Now, whether you take the time to know him, I ain't got nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing to do with it. But I can give you the tools for you to know him. I can give you the ability to see what's of Alahym and what is not. Now, whether you hearken to it, that rests with you. And that's all I'm concerned with. Because as long as your faith is strong in that day, then you're not going to fold. You're not going to fold because you're going to know. But we have to be cognizant of the games that the people play. And they playing games to set you up to worship the devil. Not worship the devil like the conspiracy theory stuff talking about, but to worship him at the end. Because the reason why I say that, because you've been untaught it to your children. And your children would have been untaught it to their children. So then when it happens, you go along with it. You see what I'm saying? Because guess what? All us was committing idolatry and living wickedly. Why? Because you learned it from your parents. And your parents learned it from their parents. You know what I'm saying? So by the grace of Yahuwah, he's trying to stop that with you. So your generations don't learn that. All they learn is him. That's why I say you got to be committed. You got to have a desire. Because he could have left you where you was at. You know what I'm saying? He could have left you where you were at and let you continue in the pathway that you was going, which the end of which would have been death. And you would have been none the wiser. So because he gave you an opportunity to receive life, you have to understand how precious it is. That's why he said the kingdom of Shamaim is like a man who had pearls and took it and hid it in the ground. So you don't even realize how valuable the opportunity of salvation is because niggas done made this thing a fad. You know what I'm saying? And I was telling my homeboy earlier, and I done told y'all this before, Yahuwah ain't never enough for these people. Because now you want to meditate, you need energy stones, you want to learn about, he ain't never enough. Why? Y'all's word is simple. Why you need all this stuff to get you peace? That means you wicked, nigga. He say, I don't give no peace to the wicked. If you need all that extra stuff to get you peace, you wicked. Because his Ruach HaKadosh be enough. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at nobody who want to do. You want to play with stones, nigga, play with stones. You want a new moon, nigga. You want to do yoga poses, bend over backwards, touch your heels, nigga. I don't care. But all I know is, all I need is Yahusha. I don't need nothing else. I don't need nothing else. I don't need nothing else. You know what I'm saying? I don't need nothing else. I could be naked. I could be clothed. I could be hungry. I could be full. I could be homeless. I could live in a six-room mansion. Wouldn't make no difference. As long as I got Yahusha, I'm straight. If I ain't got him, I ain't got nothing. Then what reason would I have to be alive? Do you know what I'm saying? If you've had the opportunity to experience the Most High, and then he removed, you see how Saul was acting? And that nigga was stupid. And that man was utter despair. He didn't know what to do. He left me, man. He won't answer me. That's a level of despair you don't never want to feel. You know what I'm saying? And he was stupid. And when he realized y'all was gone, he lost his mind. He didn't know what to do. He was seeking anything to be able to see light. Why he won't answer me? I need his presence. And this man manifests his word to you as the manifestation of his presence. Do not get outside of his presence. You know what I'm saying? You got to take your life seriously. And I ain't talking about you breathing in and out. And be committed to it. And you'll see the goodness of the Lord. If not, you're going to see his wrath. And why would you see that? Doesn't make any sense. Colossians chapter 2, though, verse 11. He say, in whom you are circumcised with the circumcision made without hands, and the putting off of the body of the sins of the flesh by the circumcision of Hamashiach. Buried with him in immersion, wherein also you are risen with him through the faith of the operation of Alahym, who raised him from the dead. And you, being dead in your sins and the uncircumcision of your flesh, have he quickened together with him, have forgiven all your trespasses. Notice we said the operation or the work. Now we need to look at some of this. I want to ask y'all something. Who can y'all think of was strong in the Old Testament and did the work of Alahym because they knew him? And if you can think of somebody in the New Testament, you can offer that as well. Because I have what I would use, but I'd like to hear who come to mind for y'all. Because I got numerous ones I use. You say Joseph? People that you knew that they knew they Alahym and they were strong and they did work. So they did the work of Alahym because they knew him. Samson, say Moses. No, David, indeed, all these men did it. But I'm gonna hit you one little obscure. What work did Elisha do that showed the strength of Alahym? It's a real big work. Go along with this right here to a certain extent. I just like that particular story. That's why I mentioned it. Job and Stephanie, yes indeed, sir. Yes indeed. What did Elisha do? As a matter of fact, I put it this way. He did it and he was dead when he did it. This man died. They threw his body in there with another man's body. And the man came back from the dead. And guess what that is? That show you how his death, the death of Alahym, put life in you even though you were dead in your trespasses and in your sin. But see, let's look at something. That's why we read about the two witnesses, right? They were doing the work of Alahym. You know how strong you have to be for people to want to kill you and disrespect you and persecute you and keep going? You know how strong you got. I'm talking about in Alahym, not in yourself. You know how strong you got to be to suffer. See, look at something in Hebrews 11. I ain't keep y'all all night because we had a late start. I might pick it up. We pick it up on Wednesday. I'm not going to preach tomorrow afternoon. We is going to meet up tomorrow afternoon. I think I had already told y'all that. But if I didn't, you know now. You ain't got no business sitting around idling around farting, scratching yourself waiting for the sun to go out. Yeah, I said it. And I wasn't scared to say it either. Hebrews 11 and 32. But we'll focus on the strength of Hamashiach with the work that he did because he knew his Alahym. Because he kept stating that he knew his father. So we want to take a look at least 2 to 3 witnesses from that regard and then we'll branch out. Look at verse 32 of Hebrews 11. And what shall I more say, for the time would fail me to tell of Gideon and of Barak and of Samson and of Jephthah. So let me pause. Let's look at this here. What work did Gideon do? Not just that. Who knows what work Gideon did? What was Gideon? He was a judge. And he was a judge against who? Who did he go out and judge? He judged the Philistines. So what work did he do? He went to war. He led the people, went to war and slaughtered them. You know what I'm saying? That was the work of Alahym in that instance. Now he mentioned Barak. Who was Barak? Yeah, he was an Israelite. No. Who knows who Barak is? That is the gentleman that went up with Deborah. And what did Barak do? He went to war too. Now here go the next one. I know y'all know who Samson is, and notice the 3 people off the top who he named. What type of and Jephthah? Hold on, cause I know you know who Samson is. Who's Jephthah? You don't know who that is? You know who that is? Somebody in here know who that is. You know who that is? You remember who that is? You don't know who that is? Hey, that's a shame that people had you in there. You don't even know who these people is. I ain't mad at you because I ain't know who none of them was either, but I ain't never been in no church.
Trees raining over us.
Mm. Yes, sir. Warriors naming warriors indeed. Oh, yeah, and that was the key thing. That's right. Gideon had them 300. Y'all remember them 300 men we dealt with that? Many a call, few were told. There was a lot of people came with him. All he needed was 300 men. You got these dumb Israelites. That's where they got 300 from. Get your stupid butt out of here. No, he didn't get locked up. He in the book of Judges, though. 300 men didn't take out that many people. Yahuwah took out that many people. That's why he said, I'm going to leave 300 unless you bald-headed whole nigga say you did. Because you know that what was going to happen. They were going to be on that bald-headed whole stuff talking about, we took these people out. Yeah, I keep telling y'all, right, men can be bald-headed hoes too. There's a lot of bald-headed hoes out here that men. It ain't just no woman thing. Bald-headed hoe stuff, sucker stuff. There's too many feminine men out here. Don't grow up to play. Look, case in point, Dwayne Wade, that's some bald-headed hoe stuff. Now your son done grow up to be a bald-headed hoe. Word part is that nigga looks sweet as Kool-Aid. Somebody molested that boy. Somebody got it. Yeah, around them famous nigga took that boy to a mansion party and messed him up.
I agree with South Beach.
It ain't matter about his South Beach. It's a matter of fact that his daddy done made hundreds of millions of dollars and he hang with punks. Because you know what I just seen a highlight the other day? I was appalled. Baseball game. Texas Rangers. Nigga hit a home run. You know, most times they give high five, do this here. These niggas walked up and grabbed each other's penises. And the worst part is that you know when any celebration that athletes do, they practice that before they come out. No, I'm talking about the elaborate stuff. You know what I'm saying? Bro, that nigga hit a home run, that nigga came across home plate, and both of them niggas exchanged the penis grab. You did this in public with cameras on. I'm like, come on, man, you give a nigga a handshake? That's what you do? So that's how we greet each other? That's how you celebrate? How did that come across your mind? The reason why I say that because they both did it instantaneously. So y'all had a conversation about this. It wasn't no awkward like he did it, then you did it. Like them niggas did it like this here. Wow. Really? Of all the things, it's bad enough niggas be slapping niggas on the butt. Please do not touch my gluteus maximus. Please. You can tell me good job other than slapping me on my butt. You know what's crazy? You let a man slap you on your. I don't even let a woman slap me on my butt, and you come up and do it. Tell me, man, these people sick because I don't know where they do that at. That's not right. But back to Jephthah. Y'all don't know who Jephthah is? You know who Jephthah is?
I'm reading about now. He's a warrior. And
What'd you say, D? Yeah, that's the dude with his daughter. But what was his birth like though? What happened to him as a child?
The Jephthah was the one where the elders of the city. It was something with the elders of the city. They ain't like him.
they threw him out and told him he couldn't leave his house.
They threw him out of mama house because they said mama was a whore.
She's a hard.
Yeah,
He was a mixed nigga, really.
yeah,
But they called his mama a whore. Then he went to battle, and he was the one who said, whatever comes. Now, we don't have to be warriors, GP. Everybody ain't meant to be a warrior. He said, and his daughter came out. And remember what he said his daughter was doing. She said she walked up how many days? Wailing her virginity. And that's what the Lord did when he went up there with his apostles. And he was up there wailing his virginity. Because that's about the Lord, too. Everything about the Lord. But y'all know that. We don't know that. But you see, Jephthah was what? That man was so happy, y'all. He said, whatever in my house, come out the door first. You can have it. And his daughter said, Daddy, don't be sad. Whatever. That's the people believe that he actually killed his daughter. Big dummy. Books say the book. Books say she gonna beware her virginity, but you gonna kill her. No, you gave up Yahuwah to sacrifice war should never be with a man. You know what I'm saying? Just like Yahushua was up there wailing his virginity. He ain't never laid with no woman. Dude so dumb, bro. They really believe this man killed his daughter. cry, mourn, lament.
That's what she like. She went to like a mountain.
She went to a mountain with her friends, and they was up there with her for about 30, 40 days. I said, y'all know what Samson did. Y'all know what he did. Can somebody think of some work he did? What's the work Samson did? Besides the one at the end and collapsing the house. To them fathers, what he did with them fathers, man? What's the other thing he did? Jawbone of an ass. Notice that all these men had strength because they all had one common thing. They knew their Alahym. Samson knew his Alahym from the womb. Remember? What the next person say? And David and Samuel, another prophet. So what work did Samuel do? His work ain't as apparent as the others, but it's just as powerful as saying. Because Samuel wasn't a warrior, so we can't put the.
He was leading the people before they had king.
He did. So if he was leading the people, then what was he doing? He was judging and executing righteousness. And he was sanctified from the womb as well. And we know what David did. We'll be here all night. We ain't got to talk about that. He said, who through faith subdued kingdoms, worked righteousness. So let's pause. And like we mentioned all these people because it's already 10:40. Now he mentioned Moses. You mentioned Moses on yours. What work of righteousness did Moses work?
Yes,
I will accept your answer. You want to bless.
oh, I think
Yeah, because you mentioned Moses. So what work of righteousness did he work?
Bringing people out of Egypt and just.
So you look at it as he the one brought him out, right? Samuel judged the throne. That's up. So he the one brought him out. So we can look at him bringing him out as he the one he used to he judged him to, who split the Red Sea. He was the one who gave him Torah. He was the one who asked for manna for him. He the one who worked all the plagues. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else who mentioned somebody too, because I can't. That we haven't looked at. I know somebody said David. Somebody and Samuel. Somebody say anybody else? Joe. So what work did Joseph work? Stanley. Or Darius said Joseph. What work did Joseph work? Darius, to show that he knew his Alahym.
He was the right hand to the Pharaoh.
But that was his reward. So what did he do? Because he had to work something to even get to that point. In what regard? What work did he do specifically? You can use that because he did prophesy. Did he not? What'd you say?
I was just saying he got a lot on about Pharaoh right. Yeah.
And what work would he worked the work of righteousness then? Because I was talking about that earlier today. You know, he showed you he was a real. Because when she came to try to give him that booty, what he told her? Not only, but before that, what he told her? He said, "I'm the best in my master's house. Ain't nothing in this house he ain't gave me but you." He was letting her know I'm a real nigga. Don't try me. You know what I'm saying? I can get anything I want from this man. Don't try to try me with no boots. Like treat me like I'm a bald-headed hoe. Take your bald-headed hoe behind on somewhere. You know how nasty of a woman you got to be, and that's another form of rejection. You know, some people don't have to reject. She just knew he was gonna get that booty. You know what I'm saying? And when he rejected her, what was her recourse? He raped me. Bald-headed hoe. Straight up and down. That's what I was telling you, like in the instance of, like when we were referring to when the chick say what his name is, Monroe came to the door butt naked. Niggas will try you. People will try you because they assume in a sexual situation that you gonna go along with it. And then when you reject them, they feeling be so hurt. That's why they react the way they react. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you tripping hoe, or you this, that, and the third. Because you got rejected, your pride hurt. You just knew that. You just knew she was going. She just knew. Oh, he gonna get this here. If you sit back and think about it, like I said, right? Because you know, women do it too, but men are trying nigga real quick. Like I said, man, you know how weird of a nigga you got to be to walk up to the door for a woman you ain't never laid with and answer the door butt naked. And because if you do that, you are so confident that she is going to have courtesy with you that I just know when she see me naked, she gonna be with.
Man, there's some niggas that like that though. But not to the extent of like naked, but like some niggas feel like if you shoot the shot, you shoot your shot. Pull it out.
Yeah,
That's why I say niggas definitely pull out, man.
So you definitely got niggas sitting on the car when niggas she turned her head, he done whipped out.
Whipped out.
Wow, what's that?
If it ain't,
niggas do it all the time.
I'm saying that's the same thing.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Very, very extreme.
It is. Because the whip out is a little bit more subtle than coming to the door butt naked. You done let it know what it is.
Yeah.
And niggas will react the same way on and the nigga will react the same way on the whip out if he get rejected as if he did because his pride hurt. You've been rejected.
Just like with Ken.
Well, who? Oh yeah, you got rejected, nigga, get mad. And that's why you have to look at that. Oh man, you tripping. No, nigga, you tripping. You know what I'm saying? You gotta give a nigga a warning. You can't, ain't no different than a woman to do it. Hold on, I gotta go to the bathroom. Then she come in the back, she butt naked. The average dude just ain't turning it down. See, a woman might be offended. This nigga just pulled his meat out, especially if that wasn't on her mind, or she don't see him in that fashion, or she don't want him to think he a hoe. See, a man don't care if you think he a hoe. He gonna go ahead and crash. I care less if you think I'm a hoe.
Shit, girl coming up like naked. She already thinks
Sure.
in the store.
Whether she think you a hoe or not, she like this here. I know the average woman though.
Like, cause like you said, a woman different from a man.
Yeah, average woman though.
Man don't care if you feel like that. But a woman like, oh no, I ain't like that.
Yeah.
She gonna feel like you gonna take.
Oh, the average woman feel like the average man ain't gonna turn ain't gonna turn no monkey down. I think a woman will get more offended if she get turned down sexually than a man is, because men get rejected all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But a woman feel like, boy, if I done came out here and showed him the goods and that nigga said no, oh, her feelings hurt. Oh, yeah. Hurt. What you mean? And guess what? And what did she end up doing? Trying to destroy his whole household because she got rejected. You know what I'm saying? And what did she do? Because let me. If I can't get that meat, ain't nobody gonna get it. I'm telling you, that's how people. It's one thing if you try to holler at somebody and but if you come at them sexually and they reject you, oh yeah, they gonna fuck out. And that's what that woman did with Joseph. He tried to rape me. Nobody want to rape you, hoe. You know what I'm saying? For what?
Go put it up.
Where we at, man? Now, of course, you know these people. They said that the world wasn't worthy of them. You know what I'm saying? Say some of them were destitute and afflicted. Some were cut asunder. Some were living in caves. And the book say the world wasn't worthy of these men. And I'm mentioning that because I done told you this before. The real righteous, they get overlooked and get treated differently than people of the world because they not loved, they not respected. They don't sit back and look at them because they hate your God, so they don't fool with you. We all know it because we done all done seen it. Niggas will grab an unrighteous nigga and try to make him righteous to make themselves feel better when there was a righteous man right in your face. And you know Yahshua been doing it since the day you were born.
And righteous man.
Yeah. That'd be the crazy part too with our people. A righteous man pursuing you and you turn him down for a wicked nigga. And the main reason why we do it, because it's a standard that come along with it. And it's a standard that people don't want to hold. You can be with a righteous man, like it's just certain stuff that ain't gonna go along with it. Do you know what I'm saying? And where all women at mentally and spiritually, a lot of them, they've been catered to and told how great they were their whole life that they don't have that thought process of let me humble myself and serve this man. You know what I'm saying? So when that man come, not knowing and having the understanding, knowing that man coming to serve you, just like you coming to serve him. You know what I'm saying? So you had this here like, no, nigga, Like you could disrespect him, not realizing you disrespecting the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
Because of that, they pulled out some type of
Yeah, you want the dude that you want and make him be righteous, and then you trying to take a dude that y'all don't even want. What if you grab a nigga, y'all don't even want this nigga? I think I can do something, but men do it too, but it's in here, no there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why would you get a woman you know don't want to listen, don't want to follow y'all? Like, why would you choose that? Why would you pursue that? Because you an idiot. You know what I'm saying? She fine though, bro. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. You're a grown man. You know what I'm saying? You're a grown man. But it just the song that is, you ain't doing the work of Alahym. Because the work of Alahym gonna manifest his will. That's what you're gonna desire. That's what you're gonna want. You're gonna want him to be honored in everything that you do. Well, come on over here to Matthew so we can slide on, because that's what Yahushua objected for. That his father be honored in everything that he do. And in that strength, that's what allowed him to do that work. Let me see which one we want to choose. It's many to choose from. Well, let's just slide over here and look at the greatest work of all and the level of strength it took to do that. Let's just do that so we can slide out of here. It's almost 11 o'clock. Y'all willing, we'll just keep it rolling Wednesday because you got one day off. Look at Matthew chapter 26, verse 18. Let's look at the greatest work of all that he did. And he said, go into the city to such a man and say unto him, the master say, my time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at your house with my disciples. Now, I just want to focus on the strength because we know what the work was. The work was the offering of himself. But let's look at the strength that he used, that he had to go through. We got to slide the loop for that because what I'm thinking about is not that. And when you sit back, Luke 22 and 39, and when you sit back and you look at it, the strength that you have to know someone is plotting to kill you and still go do it anyway. Also, like the level of strength with Jeremiah. When they locked Jeremiah up, y'all remember what he told them people? He said, you could do whatever you seem good to you, but didn't know of the truth. You got innocent blood on your hands. All he was doing was prophesying for the people to repent, or Yah's wrath was going to come on them. And they wanted to kill him for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't deceive yourself. We done deceive. I don't know if it's because of televangelists or whatever the case may be, but we done deceived ourselves into believing that everybody loves the righteous. And they don't. And they simply don't. You know what I'm saying? So if they ain't love the Lord, he already told you, no, they ain't going to love you. Not unless they're of me. And that goes back to what we were talking about before. If you're of him, then you would love the individuals connected to him the same way. Same way we were talking about in the garden, right? There wasn't no need for no law because they were righteous people. You know what I'm saying? So if the word is in you and you ain't got no need for it, you don't need to be taught. Why do we ever sit around going through the law? You ain't got no business going through. You already know. It's only one person in this room that will be able to say she don't know it. And it ain't because she don't know it because she's just this evil, wicked bastard. It's because she ain't been taught, so she don't know. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of brothers spend a lot of time teaching the law, right? So if you spend all that time teaching the law, that means you got a whole room full of wicked people. Because if they righteous people, they wouldn't need it. You don't see the apostles walking around doing that. Now, kicking point that people already knew the law, but nevertheless, you can still teach the ordinances, but the point is, righteous people don't have no need for it. Once you receive the Ruach, you don't have no need for it. That's why he say they all know me from the least to the greatest. You won't need to walk around telling them that. Keep that. Let's put it this way before I keep on going, right? That boy been hearing the word since he was in the womb. So that means there's an opportunity for a child to receive the Ruach HaKodesh before the world could ever get hold of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta sit back and think about that. Before the world could ever get a chance to get hold to him, he could already be set apart to his Alahym the way he would never depart from him. So you have to look at that responsibility which he done gave you, because he gave you a child after you have learned of him, and take that seriously, that he knows of his Alahym, so the world can never pollute him like it polluted you. That means he don't have to go through none of the stuff you went through and make none of the errors or mistakes that you made. He never got to worry about he was worshiping another God and didn't know it. He never got to worry, unless he choose to go commit sin. But if he go choose to commit sin, that ain't got nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? You know why they ain't got nothing to do with you? Because you can't control what he does. Just like you can't control what your husband do. Just like you can't control what nobody do. And y'all know it ain't no age of consent. Y'all know that, right? Y'all, I know we don't win over there. Don't let nobody tell you that bold face lie. Oh, when you're 12, you're responsible for your sins. Every man's responsible for his own sins. Book tell you that the son won't be put to death for the father, nor the father be put to death for the son. But every man will be put to death for his own sin. Your son want to be out here on some bald-headed whole stuff, he gonna kill your son. And don't think he sit back and remember, because he killed some children too, didn't he? When he killed some children, Clark.
Ezekiel 9.
They were doing what?
Yeah, when he cut the bears out.
Yeah, I'm talking about them bears. See, them children got killed because your people's out here wilding. Them children got killed because they were ranking on a list. Talking about go up, old bald head, go up, old bald head, and he cursed them, and the Sheba came out there and killed 46 of them. That's what they deserve to. I remember dude to me, so you deal with a God who will kill children? I said, y'all killed them, they deserve to die. Let y'all be righteous. That ain't right. Call it what you want, nigga. They deserve to die. And if your bald-headed bastard come up, talking about go up there bald-headed, and he say kill that nigga, I say praise be to y'all. Let that little nigga die. Yeah, the children of the wicked made for the sword. That's what it say. But for me, it is niggas will try to get you to play on your emotion to speak against your God. You understand what I'm saying? See, how could he kill kids? See, that's a play on your emotion. You see what I'm saying? Then when you do that, now you trying to tempt me to sin to appease you because you don't agree with what he did. I agree with it, nigga. I agree with it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no shame. I tell every nigga, so you really, that nigga ought to die. Period. You know what I'm talking about? You go against who you ought to die. If I go against him, I ought to die. And if I had a household of children, they ought to die right along with me. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I see it. I don't see it no other way. Period. I don't feel nothing bad about it. If you nigga went to Wilder and he was like, I'm finna kill a children, I said, well, kill that nigga children then. You ain't see David doing all that when he killed his son. He said, hey, y'all give, y'all take away. I can't bring him back. It was my fault the nigga dead anyway. Now see, that's where your faith and level and trust in y'all supposed to be at. Well, if that's what he ordained for judgment, we'll let his judgment be executed. Because he righteous in all his doings. We'll tell you that. He said, we unrighteous, y'all is righteous. Y'all done dealt righteously with us. If y'all deem something to go down, praise be to his name. Let his will be executed. That's how I see it. I can't see it no other way. I can't see it no other way. 22 and 39. And he came out and went as he was wont to the Mount of Olives, and his disciples followed him. And when he was at the place, he said unto them, pray that you enter not into temptation. And he was withdrawn from them about a stone's cast and kneeled down and prayed, saying, Abba, if you be willing, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but your be done. And there appeared a Alahym unto Shamahin, strengthening him. And being in agony, he prayed more earnestly. And his sweat was it with great drops of blood falling down to the ground. And when he rose up from prayer and he would come to his disciples, he found them sleeping for sorrow. And he said unto them, why sleep you? Rise and pray, lest you enter into temptation. Notice the key thing. That way you be careful. What you around here sleeping for? You know what I'm saying? You need to get up because you might get tempted. You know what the book tell you about temptation? You know, he tell you like, if you see somebody overtaken in the fault, he say, but you might want to deal with him in wisdom, lest you be overtaken in the same fault and you be tempted. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, sometimes dudes go, now you going to get tempted. Let me see what you do. You got to know if you're a spiritual man, you got to know how to restore him. Let him know, lest you be tempted in the same fashion. You know what I'm talking about? But when you looking at what he dealing with, notice the Alahym came to give him strength because he knew his Alahym. I'm telling you this here now in the books all through it. Whether all the men we looked at, all of them were in a low situation. Gideon was in a low situation. Jephthah was in a low situation. Samson was in a low situation. David was in a low situation. And because they knew their Alahym, he strengthened them every single solitary time. And they overcame and did the works because they knew him. You know what I'm saying? You see Yahushua, he's in a weak situation. He saw this Alahym. You know the most thing that most of us do? We go see the person. He saw this Alahym. His Alahym gave him strength. He was able to overcome, and he was able to do the work. And that work that he was able to do was to die and resurrect from the dead, which goes back to the side how the man with raised on pairs you to his experience. So then once you get, that's why he say greater works than these you'll do. Because once you sacrifice yourself and you join yourself to him and he's joined himself to you, then you can begin to do the work. Because you know that's what every brew love to say, and we out here doing the work. We out here doing the work. Most of the niggas doing work of their own heart and own mind. But we'll continue this on though, because we had some delays. But y'all know what he was doing. So hallelujah for Yahushua in the word. We'll stop it right there. Most High willing, Wednesday, you know, regular. That's regular time. We ain't got nothing popping tomorrow. So. Bless everybody out of the house. Y'all name of Yahushua. I appreciate everybody's time. It's been they said a feast go by quick. We realize it's not. Slide right on by. You know what I'm saying? But prayerfully, we get a little stronger in Alahym and actually know him and do his work, that our souls might be preserved. But most importantly, as I mentioned before I depart, make sure you stay in that man's presence. Don't get outside of his shadow. If y'all remember the book of Ezekiel, right, he said all the birds will do what? Rest under the shadow of that tree. Stay in his presence. Because I'm telling you, man, you don't want to feel like Saul. Oh yeah, we've been doing that for years, man. Shoot, that's our custom. You seen how Saul moved when the presence was gone. Irregardless of what he did for the presence to leave, that man had despair. And you don't want to feel like that. So you who are willing, man, we pick it back up on Wednesday and do it again. And until that time, bitch it. Because I know everybody gonna give you space to eat.